with my high school athletes, I tell a little story or make up a little story every once in a while, and this is why I tell them. I go, if you could grow up and be guaranteed the opportunity to make $1 million, would you be willing to do everything that I asked you, knowing that at a certain age that you're going to get this $1 million because you've done these things, you've followed what I've asked you to do, and so you'll be given this $1 million? And typically the reply that I get is, well, absolutely, why wouldn't I? And so I reply that back to wrestling. There's a lot of difficult aspects about wrestling, and aspects that maybe those that have really been down the road or seen a lot of people go down a certain road can only answer. And that's what really makes wrestling the difficult thing, is because not enough people have been down those roads to give you a really good answer on things. And so my point of this is that here at Waverly we have kind of a system, and it's set up from our little youth guys and our K group all the way up through our high school. And there's some things here that essentially, if you can follow through and be a part of that process from whatever age it is that your kids start the sport of wrestling, if you can do them and follow along, that they're going to have an opportunity down the road to do some unbelievable things within the sport of wrestling. Our program's pretty fortunate. The state titles that we've won, the kids that we've had come through, and what they've accomplished, even the coaches that we've had involved in this program. And hitting with the coaches, there's been a pretty good plan devised between Coach Caldwell, all the coaches that he had around himself for a long time, continue on to myself and the coaches that I have around. And this is the simple plan. If you're willing to commit to get your son or daughter to essentially the things that they need to get to, so if they have practice twice a week, get them a practice twice a week. If that takes stopping them, picking up a slushie after practice for the next 10 years, stop and pick up a slushie because they got their practice in. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you're willing to follow the process, if you're willing to stick with things and understand that there's going to be tough times, there's going to be nights where maybe son doesn't want to go to practice. Maybe there's going to be nights where practice didn't go so well and they didn't have success. How are you going to continue to get them back to practice? And understand that it's all part of this process, that every person that's been through the sport at one time or another has been in these exact same situations. They've had practices where they just can't do it right. They've had practices that they don't want to show up to. So all these things that are going to probably occur at some point or another over the existence of your son or daughter competing in sport, it's okay. Just continue to do everything you can to get them to where they need to be, and understand that we all as coaches have a set process, and this is all part of it. It's all a part of this process that we go through, and that every kid that goes through our program has gone through. So continue. If you have coaches or questions, reach out to coaches, ask them, but do know that that night where Jimmy's fighting you to go to practice, that hey, it's okay to say, no, it's practice time, we need to go to practice. And understand that there's been hundreds of other kids in the exact same situation before, and they've gone to practice and everything was just fine. But continue with it. Commit to it. Make a family commitment, and only good things will follow a strong commitment.